Rocky got married to Priya 2 months ago. He was happy with his life. But one day, a woman from the neighborhood came to their house to meet his wife. When Rocky looked at her, he found her more beautiful than his wife. A thought crossed his mind.
I wish I had married this woman instead of Priya.
The next day, a woman from Rocky's neighborhood was lying on a bed in her house's courtyard, enjoying the warm afternoon sun. She was wearing a casual home outfit, thinking,
I am sitting alone at home and no outsider can see me here in the courtyard. That's why I feel comfortable wearing a short dress.
She was lost in her own thoughts, completely carefree. On the other side, Rocky stood behind his house's wall, secretly watching her. His eyes were fixed on the woman, and a strange thought entered his mind.
I wish I had some connection with this beautiful woman so I could spend time with her.
The thought kept echoing in his mind, and he kept staring at her with desiring and evil eyes, as if he were looking at a treasure he could never have. The next day, Rocky went to the market, where he noticed a beautiful woman buying vegetables. She was talking and laughing gracefully, and Rocky thought,
She is even more beautiful than my wife. I wish I had married her instead.
He suddenly felt a strong desire to make her his girlfriend. As the woman finished shopping and started walking home, Rocky thought,
I should find out where she lives so I can stand near her house now and then.
With this thought, he quietly followed her, carefully watching the path. When she turned into a narrow street, Rocky looked around, smiled to himself, and thought,
Now I know where she lives. I must visit this place often.
When he returned home, his close friend Sanjay came to visit. Rocky shared his thoughts with him, saying,
Before marriage, my fiancée Priya seemed like the most beautiful girl in the world. But after our engagement, I started finding other girls attractive. And now, after marriage, even other men's wives seem more beautiful than mine.
Sanjay was a wise man. He replied,
The problem is that when people get something, they stop valuing it. That's why your wife seems less beautiful to you now.
Later, they attended a wedding where everyone was served sweets. Rocky was looking at his own plate while also noticing the sweets in others' plates. Sanjay noticed this. Smiling, Sanjay said,
You must feel like the sweet in someone else's plate is bigger than yours. Right? That's exactly how you feel about other men's wives after marriage.
Rocky has mostly understood why this problem is happening to him, why he started liking other women after marriage. Rocky asked for a solution, and Sanjay advised,
Learn to respect your wife and change your mindset. There is nothing wrong with her. The problem is in you. If you don't change, one day, even the animals in your neighborhood might start looking better than your wife.
Hearing this, Rocky felt ashamed of his thoughts. He decided to change himself, appreciate his wife, and strengthen his relationship with her. That night, as he lay in bed, he kept thinking about Sanjay's words. He realized how unfair he had been to Priya, who always cared for him and loved him unconditionally. The next morning, he decided to make a fresh start.
Priya, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. Your smile brightens up my life. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. I love you.
Naughty ghost in haunted house. Priya worked as a cook in a big mansion. Right in front of this mansion was an old abandoned house that everyone called the Haunted Mansion. Priya secretly looked through the window at the mysterious house. She had heard many stories about it, but she never believed them. Suddenly, she saw a fat thief sneaking into the abandoned house. But just a few moments later, the same thief ran out, screaming in fear. He kept shouting, "Ghost! Ghost!" His face had a deep slap mark, and his clothes were torn in several places, as if the ghost of the haunted house had slapped him. The next night, as Priya finished washing the last dish in the mansion's kitchen, she felt like someone was standing behind her. But when she turned around, she saw a blurry shadow that disappeared in 1 second. Suddenly, the lights started to dim, and kitchen objects began floating in the air. The next morning, everyone in the big house was worried. The mistress's jewelry was missing, and the expensive decorative items from the guest room were also gone. The strange thing was that all the doors and windows were locked. It looked like a ghost had taken the things, not a human. Priya soon realized that this was not the work of a normal thief. The previous night, the thief had accidentally opened a locked room in the haunted mansion, releasing a terrifying ghost. That night, Priya was brave. She sat in the big hall and waited. At midnight, she saw a naughty ghost flying near the ceiling. It was throwing things around, laughing loudly, and enjoying the chaos.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
The ghost laughed and said,
I am a forgotten spirit. I will not hurt you, but you must play a game with me.
Priya was confused and asked.
What game?
The shadow's eyes sparkled as it said.
Truth or dare?
Priya took a deep breath and said bravely,
Okay, I'm ready, but if I win, you must stop your tricks.
During the game, the shadow shared many secrets. The biggest secret was that a hidden treasure was buried under the mansion many years ago. Priya told the mistress in the morning about the hidden treasure buried under the mansion. When they dug the ground, they really found an old treasure. Everyone in the house thanked Priya for telling them about the hidden treasure. The shadow promised Priya that it would not harm anyone. Priya smiled and said,
You love playing tricks, but now your tricks should not hurt anyone.
After that, the mansion became peaceful. But sometimes one plate of Priya's food would disappear, and a soft laugh could be heard. Priya would laugh and say,
Naughty ghost, you are back again?
Press the subscribe button to watch more videos.